New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring. New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Live from a secure concrete bunker somewhere in Ohio, New Thought Media Network presents Pastor Michael Mangus with Friday's Fireside Chat, spiritual conversation for today. Here he is from the secret radio room, surrounded by thousands of watts, Pastor Michael Mangus.
Yes, it is time once again for the Friday evening Fireside Chat here on your New Thought Media Network. I am the Reverend Michael Mangus, and I am broadcasting this evening from the Charles Fillmore secret radio room, surrounded by thousands, and I mean thousands of watts, in a very secure concrete bunker somewhere around Akron, Ohio, that is so top secret that even my boss, the Reverend Dr. Robert Brzezinski, he thinks he knows where it's at, but he has no clue on where the top secret bunker is located, and we are going to keep it that way. And the reason being is sometimes I want to hide from him. Well, hi there. Welcome. This is the Friday Evening Fireside Chat. Good to see everyone this evening. And we do have a wonderful show for you. Please feel free to interact in the comments. And also, if you are shy, which I know some of you are, all you need to do is to go ahead and to send me an email during the week, pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com, pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com. And tell me what's on your mind. And be nice, okay? Don't be like Jeff Radcliff, who accuses me all the time of not reading his emails, of which sometimes I don't. Okay. Well, the purpose of our Friday evening get together is for us to bring our beverage this evening. This is good red stuff, non-alcoholic tonight, but to bring our beverage by the fire and to talk about contemporary issues from a new thought/spiritual perspective. And again, I want us all to have a new thought about everything. This is not the time to bury your head in the sand. This is the time for all of us here to be engaged, involved, and also to come fully from our divine power. So that's the reason why we do this weekly show, is to put a spin on the news that hopefully that not only can you digest, but also that you can then take action on what you learn here during our program. Once again, all the way from the great state of Tennessee, originally from the greater state of West Virginia. We have this evening divine science minister and I was going to say co-host, but I don't know. What do you think? Do you deserve that title?
I think I do, but then on the other hand, leaving me backstage and then bringing me on like I'm a guest or something like that kind of makes co-host sound kind of
well,
authentic.
You are my co-host.
Okay.
Reverend Jeff Radcliff. Jeff, how are you this evening?
I'm doing okay. Everything considered. Lots going on in the news, lots of weirdness, and I used to be amazed, and then I was dumbfounded, and I don't know. Now I'm just bemused.
Yes.
I mean, we got weird shit going on everywhere. So, yeah, there's that. What do you think of the whiskers? I've been letting them grow.
I think they're good.
Now that the weather's going to get colder. Of course, the weather got cold, and then all of a sudden we've got temperatures up around 70, and we're under a tornado watch here.
Wow.
6 o'clock. So, yeah, it's something else. But then next week, the temperatures, overnight lows, one day, I think it's like Tuesday into Wednesday.
Right.
Down into the upper 20s, and a high temperature for that day is going to be in the mid 30s. And then it jumps back up again. So this is fall / moving into winter in Tennessee. It's messed up here. It's something else. So,
well, anyhow, I'm glad you're with me this evening because we have some business to discuss.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Well, during the week, last Monday,
right,
my boss, the Reverend Dr. Robert Brzezinski, who is, again, the Chief Inspirational Officer here at the New Thought Media Network. Now, he just did this. He didn't send me a memo or anything, but he said that he heard last week's show, and he said, I have a gift for you in the sound effects, and it's labeled Jeff's Censor Beep.
The trick is going to be getting you to sync that up when I say something nasty.
Okay.
Doing it after the fact's like closing the barn door after the horse gets out, man.
And he says, if you really get out of line, he said, for me to issue the big gong.
Ooh. Well, see, I have to watch my P's and Q's anyway, because, well, not tomorrow, but the following Saturday is the Divine Science Ministers Association membership meeting. And I'm on the board, and I'm up for re-election. And I don't want to say anything that's going to jeopardize me in, I don't mind if they replace me with somebody else on the board. I just don't want to be defrocked by the Divine Science people.
I don't think so.
But then they know it's all God.
Plenty of people in high places.
Yeah. So.
Or in low places.
That too. That too. So.
Well,
so I get a beep and I get a gong, but you can't.
And also, again, the reason we're here this evening again is for the award-winning Reverend Jeff's Story of the Week. Now, this week, Legal wrote in their email that your story was very seasonal
Mm-hmm.
and cute.
Yeah. So
They also said that you may use up to 10 F-bombs this week because, again, the news is just all over the place.
Yeah. So let's get started. I got F-bombs to burn. Let's go.
Okay. Oh, well, first of all, I want to say hello to my friend Pam. She is making her famous pumpkin roll tomorrow. And Pam, I expect 1 or 2 or 3.
And there's a divine science minister in Tennessee who wouldn't mind having a shipment brought in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
better hurry up and do it before UPS or FedEx or some of the other deliverers out there stop delivering.
do you think they will?
Probably not.
Well,
Somebody's got to pick up, and keep this country on some sort of even footing.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, please keep your seatbelts on. It is time for the news. Oh, I love that.
Get on with it.
Oh, come on. I feel like I'm in
This
the
is not
news country.
Fox News. We don't need all that shit, man. Play it.
Oh, you mean faux news? Anyhow.
Yeah. Play
Well,
about
welcome.
5 seconds and then jump right in.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to day 41 of the government shutdown.
Or as I call it, the hostage situation.
Well, we have news this evening. We do have breaking news.
Mm.
And let me get my slides up here. And there you go. A 4% reduction in domestic flights is in effect following an order from the FAA. It currently affects 40 airports in major U.S. cities, but further cuts are planned in coming days due to staffing issues caused by government shutdowns. The air traffic controllers, the folks at TSA, haven't been paid for over a month and a half. So now what they're doing is they're calling in sick, using PTO time to go out there, get a job so that they can get money to feed their families. That's what's going on. Hundreds of flights affected, with at least 800 flights at the main hubs across the U.S. have been canceled today, and travelers are frustrated with disruption. Also, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy cited safety concerns as the reason for the cutbacks and warned this morning that when the government reopens travel, it will not bounce back immediately. Senate Democrats signaled yesterday that they were prepared to block GOP plans to force a vote today until they got more of a commitment on dealing with rising health care cost. Now, Americans now are feeling worse about the economy as the government shutdown drags on. You think? The record-breaking government shutdown has left Americans feeling worse about their economic outlook. That's not very good going into the holiday season. And that's according to the latest University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey, which shows the index falling to 50.3 this month from 53.6 in October. It is the lowest level since June 2022, which marked the lowest reading on the record since the survey's inception in the 1950s. Thomas Simmons, who's the chief U.S. economist, said that groups of consumers are critical because they have the biggest influence on the consumer spending data. So they continued, or their continued strength here is important for the resilience of the economy overall. However, that middle is important too, and the decline in their sentiment appears to be intensifying. If this group is unable to continue to keep up their pace of spending, the top line growth numbers may finally break from their above trend pace. Your comments, Reverend Jeff.
Well, somebody better do something pretty quick, because people are starting to get really antsy about this, and they are becoming more and more vocal.
Yes.
Trump's approval ratings are in the toilet. The lowest I think I saw that he has ever had, and that's saying something considering how low can you go with him. The last time something like this happened, where the people were starting to go hungry, well, we're not at that point yet. I mean, we're not like out starving in the streets. You know, we don't have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar walking out there telling us to bring out our dead. Okay, we're not there yet, and we probably are not going to get there. But still, to know that there are children out there who are going to be going to bed hungry at some point, while the proctologist's dream is down in Mar-a-Lago throwing wild, lavish Halloween parties. When this happened,
Gadsby? Are you kidding?
I know, right? And France went through this. France went through this exact same thing, and Marie Antoinette and a whole bunch of other people lost their heads, literally lost their heads. Now, we don't have any guillotines in this country that I know of, but we do have an awful lot of crazy people out there, and a lot of them are the MAGA folks who are finally starting to get hit by some of these things that they have been gleefully owning the libs over. Okay?
Including the farmers are getting really, really hit.
Yeah.
From our field reporter, Tim Davison, he says supposedly the U.S. Senate is still in session this evening, trying to hammer out an agreement to reopen the government.
Well, I hope they do something, because, you know, and I don't understand it. They're willing to let people go hungry, but they're not willing to give them health care. How that does not make sense.
So Chuck Schumer went ahead and said today on the Senate floor that he said, let's go ahead and keep the ACA levels where they're at for 1 year, and we will reopen the government. Now, who's holding who hostage? But wait, you are not going to believe this. There's more. And this is breaking news. Trump asked Supreme Court this evening to step into the fight over food stamp benefits. Now, earlier, the U.S. Department of Agriculture was going to release the money for the SNAP benefits. Now, President DT goes ahead and petitions the court to block a lower court ruling that requires the administration to fully cover food stamp benefits for tens of millions of Americans in November. Do you understand? Does anybody understand that 1 out of 8 Americans get help with the cost of food? Do you realize the economic impact that this will have on grocery stores where they spend these benefits? Where is the logic in all of this? I just don't get it. And it says here that the emergency request to the justices came hours after an administration official announced that they were working to comply with the ruling to fully fund the program that was issued a day earlier by U.S. District Court Judge John McConnell in Rhode Island. The administration had made a similar emergency appeal to a Boston-based federal appeals court Friday morning, but the court had not yet weighed in by the time the U.S. Department of Agriculture sent guidance to states that it was working to comply with McConnell's directive.
Now, I know that Trump had said that he was planning to take this to the Supreme Court, but the last thing I had read was a news story from this morning where that said that they had asked a federal appeals court to overturn the lower court's ruling. Was there a ruling? Because you can't jump from the one to the
right.
other.
So what he
doing that.
So what he did this evening, what the administration did, was they petitioned the Supreme Court to take a look at this. And it says the legal fight over food stamps have emerged as a central pressure point between all three branches during the historically long governmental shutdown, because it's one of the easiest to understand and the most tangible impact of that impasse so far. And at stake are food benefits that millions of Americans rely on. So we have a real mess as this shutdown continues. What I'm going to say to everyone who is watching is, if you need food assistance, go get it. Air traffic controllers and also TSA employees are having to get second and third jobs, as well as using their PTO time to work another job just to get money to go feed their families. So
I'm going to jump in right here and play devil's advocate for just a minute.
Okay.
Because these air traffic controllers and some of these FAA people and whatnot that are doing this are not the lowest paid federal employees out there. They are making very, very good money.
Well into six.
One has to wonder how they're living if you go from making $100,000 a year, or more, to needing to get on food stamps. Are they living beyond their means? What's going on? Do they not have anything in savings to draw on? I mean, it's not like they're making $2,000 a month,
okay? Right?
So that part of it, I don't understand, and I can understand why people on the right are asking that particular question, because it doesn't make sense to me either.
And again, Tim said about 2 hours ago, the president flew to South Florida.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we did.
But it just...
I have a great joke with that, but it's really bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to put that in the pile to go ahead and tell me later.
Okay.
I think what upsets me here is that, okay, so the air traffic controllers, okay, so they should have a few dollars set aside.
Yeah.
However, like TSA employees, they get $22 an hour? Again, they're using PTO. They're using PTO time plus also getting second and third jobs just to feed their families. And again, it's looking like this shutdown and the effects of the shutdown will go on for a while. Even when they go ahead and they declare that the shutdown is ended, it's going to be several weeks before the airlines go back to a full schedule. And I wonder what holidays are coming up.
Oh, yeah, some of the biggies.
Thanksgiving.
It's interesting because one of I looked at the list of airports that are going to be shut down.
Right.
And I expected to see Nashville on there, but it's not. But I have a friend who lives in Nashville who just came back from the the Divine Science Ministers and the Divine Science Federation retreat, which was basically it was a 5-day cruise, and she flew back. I think she flew out of Fort Lauderdale, and Fort Lauderdale is one of the airports that are going to be closed. So she did that just at the right and perfect time to get back to Nashville.
So if you are planning to go home for the holidays,
Drive.
be prepared for delays and cancellations and or drive. Maybe it's best this year, again, to get into four wheels instead of trying to get into an airplane. And I want to just say this to everyone out there. Get food assistance if you need it. Even here in Red State, Ohio, there's emergency services in place. So please go get food assistance. And continue in prayer here. Know with me peace and harmony somehow coming out of this situation.
Yeah. What I'm seeing down here is people actively going to the food banks to donate money, to donate food and whatnot, because Governor Bill Lee here in Tennessee has decided that he is not going to use any of our emergency funds to help people with SNAP benefits. So he's definitely leaving it up to the people to take care of each other. And people are stepping up. You still got those people who want to make it all, political, when at the moment, I mean, yeah, it's a political issue, but at the moment, the issue ought to be feeding our neighbors, making sure everybody is taken care of, not pointing fingers and saying this is your fault or that's your fault. Although we know basically who has the power in both the Senate and the House and in the White House, and we're at a standstill. So what's that tell you?
Well, brace for turbulence here, because I have some good news. You ready?
Go for it.
We had a blue tsunami this week
Mm-hmm.
that swept over the U.S. The Democrats went across the spectrum as voters reject Trump. Voters up and down the East Coast delivered Democrats a sweep on Tuesday, electing candidates across the party's spectrum in a vivid show of discontent with President DT nearly a year into a second term. Now, this is interesting. In Virginia, moderate former Representative Abigail Spanberger turned in the strongest Democratic performance in the state's recent history as she coasted to victory. And in New Jersey, another moderate, Representative Mikey Sherrill, is that how you pronounce it, Sherrill?
Cheryl, I thought.
Cheryl, okay. Busted apart the coalition that Trump and her Republican rival, a former state lawmaker, had put together to close the Garden State's gap in recent elections. So the Democrats won. And again, oh man, online, the MAGA and Trumpsters are going nuts.
They are so hateful.
I cannot believe in New York City, Democratic Socialist Zoran Mondani? Okay. His win marked the second time this year that he has defeated former Governor Andrew Cuomo, first in the Democratic primary and then in the general elections, with Cuomo running as an independent backed by Trump. Well, that was just a death knell to your campaign. Why would you want Trump's endorsement? Or did he just give it?
I think he did it. I think he just gave it. Got to do something to kind of counteract the the godless Muslim who's going to drag everybody out of socialism down into communism. Got to do something. I mean,
well, all the exit polls from CNN said that, again, voter dissatisfaction with Trump helped fuel Democratic wins in key races, especially in California, where I think they only had like one issue, that Proposition 50.
mm-hmm.
They only had one, and people were lined out the door to vote on that.
And it passed.
So people on the right are panicking. And I just want to say that it's because of your policies here. That's the reason why the blue tsunami hit. And also that we have had our staff prophet, Reverend Jeff Radcliff, has it on good authority from above that we are going to have a blue tsunami in 2026. Are you still standing by that prophecy, Reverend Jeff?
Absolutely. Everything I see going on today further entrenches that in my heart and in my mind, that it's gonna happen like that. That the Democrats are gonna flip the House. They're gonna flip a lot of Senate seats, hopefully enough to overtake it as well. We may not be able to take the White House yet, but that's coming. That's coming as well. So what the Republicans are going to find is the same setup that Mitch McConnell had with Barack Obama, where Barack Obama tried to set forth some policies and asked that these be made into law, and McConnell wouldn't even bring them to the floor for a vote. That's going to happen again, and it's going to happen to Trump. And
all right.
Talking about, oh, we need to get rid of the filibuster. We need to go nuclear on this thing and get rid of the filibuster. Like, he's not even thinking that what they try to do to Democrats today can turn around and bite them on the ass tomorrow.
Absolutely.
He's just not thinking. It's a combination of the dementia and the malignant narcissism and whatever else he's got going on.
And the poor health, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, and he had that MRI, and they don't do those for no reason. Although somebody did tell me that they heard that the reason that Trump had that was they saw something around his behind area and found a brain tumor. Oh, now come on.
You didn't say that.
That would deserve the gong.
Okay, let me see. That's what that deserves.
Yeah. That one
You got a rim shot on that one.
He's wanting to do things to benefit them now, not considering how it's going to play out in the future. He's not looking ahead. But then Americans in general aren't good at looking ahead.
All right. So all of this is, again, as Tim has said over the past several weeks, is that we're being fire hosed with all of this news. And so what can we do? Well, again, if you haven't started a spiritual practice of meditation, prayer, now is a good time to do that. Because if not, all of this is going to drive you crazy. Yeah. Second of all, really watch your news consumption. I'm not saying turn off the news, but I'm just saying don't have it on 24 hours a day. Now, Tim went ahead and he chimed in and he said that Trump just gave it. I'm not sure what that means, Tim. So,
going back to the well, we were talking about the Supreme Court thing,
right?
And going to,
okay,
yeah.
All right. Well, anyhow,
here's some and something else. Talking about the fire hose thing. If he keeps spraying out all these distractions, it's like you said, here's where your spiritual practice comes in. The Cuomo endorsement. Okay, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
We keep our minds on what it is we desire to see for ourselves in our lives and not the things that we don't want to see, which is why we get up here and skewer the other side, because it helps us to redirect back to the things that we desire to see in our lives, that world that works for everybody. So when he's out there throwing gold paint up on the walls and throwing lavish parties down at Mar-a-Lago,
did you say Mar-a-Lardo? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I started to enough. That'll give me a beep.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, soon and very soon, we are going to see the King.
All right.
No, that's a famous gospel song. But next, after our very short break, we are going to have, for your entertainment pleasure this evening, Reverend Jeff's story of the week. And let me just say, it is very seasonal.
Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, no, it's not that. Don't now you give me crap when I even give even a hint. Don't you? Yeah, okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, hi there. This is the Friday Evening Fireside Chat here on your New Thought Media Network. I'm Reverend Michael. Good to see you all this evening. Just wanted to remind you that this week, Sunday, at Summit CSL, we have a wonderful program for you. Our music director, Reverend John Miller, will be our guest speaker this Sunday. So go to summitcsl.org for more information on how to join our Zoom call. Again, it's one of the best hours on Sunday. And again, you don't have to be a member of any organization. Just come out, check us out. So again, summitcsl.org. All right. We will be right back with the award-winning Reverend Jeff's story of the week. This is the Friday evening Fireside Chat here on your, and I mean your, New Thought Media Network.
What would Louise say? Join us every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Hosted by Reverend Martine Bernard. Explore the wisdom of Louise Hay. Brought to you by New Thought Media Network. Dive into Louise's teachings. Experience healing and empowerment. Reverend Martine shares insights. Connect with a contemporary audience. Unlock your potential. Transform your life with love. Embrace positivity and healing. Join our vibrant community. Ready to join us? Let's spread love and wisdom together. Please like, share, and subscribe. Only on New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.
The views and opinions expressed by Pastor Michael Mangus are generally right. However, they are his own and do not reflect the views and opinions of New Thought Media Network, Centers for Spiritual Living, or any other person living or dead. As they say in the 12-Step Recovery Program, take what you like and leave the rest. Here again is Pastor Michael.
If I turn my button on. Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time for Reverend Jeff's story of the week. Week.
Where's my music? Where's my music?
Listen, I can't listen.
My echo. I mean, my real.
Oh,
echo.
you want? Oh man, you know,
Amateurs. See what they do? They may be weird with
some
amateurs.
people. Hold on here, just for you. Well, that's the news one. But here you go.
Now
Amateurs
here's Reverend Jeff
sometimes-
Radcliff with the story of the week.
You feel
Now
better.
here's Reverend Jeff Radcliff with the story of the week.
See, it doesn't know to be quiet.
Well, there's still no music. I mean, we got to dance. I mean, I want to be
Oh,
like
you
Ellen.
want?
I want to be like
Oh.
Ellen and dance down the thingy.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on here.
Reverend Jeff story of the week. Just as a night that I can see.
Here you go.
My said to tell me what to see. Will W7 and on starts K. Reverend Jeff story of the week.
Award winning.
Just cause a night that I can see. My said to tell me what to see.
I want to dance with that girl on in the penis cartoon. The one who does like this.
All right.
All right.
All right. Cut the music. All right.
All righty.
Go ahead.
This is the week of the white bear. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
The first full week of November is Polar Bear Awareness Week. Now, the thing of it is, it started on Sunday. We don't air until Friday, so we're at the tail end, so to speak. But it's still technically Polar Bear Awareness Week. For over a decade, there's a nonprofit organization called Polar Bears International that has put up live stream cameras, have daily updates during the annual polar bear migration. So where are these polar bears headed? They're headed to a place called Churchill, Manitoba in Canada, up to Hudson Bay. Every fall, hundreds of polar bears gather up there. You thought the teddy bears were having a picnic? Well, these guys are having a barbecue. They're waiting for the harbor to freeze so that they can go out and hunt seals again. Seals are the primary food of polar bears, you know. They're important because the nutrition that these seals provide gives the polar bears a layer of fat, and it helps to provide their dense undercoat to trap in heat so that the bears don't freeze to death in the wintertime. Here's the thing, though. Warmer temperatures due to climate change have been delaying the bay freezing. And so the bears got to fast a little bit longer before they go out and hunt for seals. So what are they doing? They're getting up, they're walking through town, they're checking things out. They're just hanging out, waiting for it to get cold enough for the harbor or the bay. Why I want to call it the harbor, I don't know. Waiting for Hudson Bay to freeze. So that's what they're doing. Scientists are tracking their movements, and like I said, they've got live stream cameras and all this so that you can watch in real time. So Polar Bear Week basically celebrates these big mammals while reminding us that their future depends on what we do for a warming planet. Now, that said, let me introduce you. You go ahead and put up the first picture, please. Let me introduce you to a 1,200-pound bear called Henry, who lives at the Cochrane Polar Bear Habitat. And the Cochrane Habitat in Ontario is the world's only non-profit organization that provides sanctuaries to polar bears who can't live in the wild anymore. And the habitat also gets presents. They get gifts for their bears around Polar Bear Awareness Week. Well, one of the staff was driving in behind this huge truck who was carrying this monstrous pumpkin.
Yes.
And so the Habitat folks called the company that this truck works for. It's a place. They're called 80 Creek Gardens. It's AIDIE, 80 Creek Gardens, and they called them to ask them if they could have that pumpkin, if they would donate it. Well, the folks at 80 Creek said that, this is such a big pumpkin, we're not going to be able to give it, use it, to sell it to anybody. If you want it, you can have it. Check out that picture, though. 1,400 pounds. That pumpkin weighs more than Henry the polar bear. So, but they said that
Well, he's chewing down now. He's
he
getting
is. He's chowing down now. Hold on to the last picture though. Don't show
okay.
it just yet. Pumpkin won't do much good for Henry to put on weight. I mean, it'll give him some empty calories, but it's not like eating a seal, you know. But it gives him a chance to dine on something that he normally wouldn't have. So now you can put up the picture, the last one. It's a nice way to, he's in a
like
food
he's
coma.
hungover.
He was in a food coma, and the damage that you see done to that pumpkin, he did it in one sitting.
Oh my.
They didn't. The story didn't say just how long it took him to decimate that pumpkin, but that was just one sitting. But that's Henry. At the end of it, he was just like, it's like Thanksgiving, you know. How we are with turkeys, you got to unfasten your belt and lay out on the couch and just veg for a while. So that was Henry's way to do that, and I thought that was a pretty nice way to end a week of learning about polar bears and a call to protect our fragile ecosystem.
So if you have big pumpkins, take them to your local zoo and have the bears eat them. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the bears or whatever else. You know, I know that there are folks who probably still got Halloween pumpkins sitting out on their porch or whatever. When they start to go, I mean, if you've got woods nearby, as long as you haven't done anything weird with the pumpkin, like I know people try to make it break down by like throwing bleach and stuff on it.
Don't do that. No,
don't do that. Just take it out as it is and smash it up a little bit if you want, and just toss it out in the woods and let the animals get to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, it was Reverend Jeff's story of the week.
Without an F-bomb.
You haven't used any F-bombs so far.
I know. What the fuck is wrong with me?
That's one.
See, yeah, and you've got a buzzer and you've got a gong, and you haven't used either one of them.
No, because I'm not going to go into it. It's just that StreamYard is really difficult to maneuver sometimes, especially when you are producing your own show. Ladies and gentlemen.
So my joke about Trump's hemorrhoid being a brain tumor is it's okay.
Talking about DT.
Oh yeah, we can't not talk about him anymore because he's all anybody's talking about.
Well, a guest collapses near Trump during the Oval Office weight loss drug event, and later the president said the man was fine. So, an event in the Oval Office on Thursday was suddenly halted when a White House guest collapsed behind President DT. The man was at the event for the president's announcement of his weight loss drug cost reduction plan and was seen appearing to faint, and then was caught by two others nearby as he started to fall to the floor. Guess who didn't even go towards him?
I know. I saw the video.
Trump was sitting in front of the man at the Resolute desk as Dr. Oz, the administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services,
also
rushed to the man's aid. What now?
Also known as the Quack.
Oz and others tended to him as reporters and photographers were quickly ushered out of the room. And there he is. He just looks.
Did you see who, as soon as the guy started to hit the floor, he turned and ran the other direction? Did you see what cabinet member did that?
Yes, I did. I noticed that RFK Jr.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he was going to get
someone collapsing near him was to haul out of the room as quickly as possible. One comment said on X.
Maybe
another user wrote, "A man just collapsed during DT's Oval Office announcement. HHS Secretary RFK Jr. can be seen quickly leaving the scene." Now,
you know where he was headed. You know where he was going? He was going back to the office to get this poor guy a shot of ivermectin and a glass of unpasteurized milk, raw milk.
Does that cure everything?
He seems to think so. But then he's also the one that picks up dead animals off the highway and has worms.
In response to the buzz, the White House press secretary clarified that Kennedy did not actually leave the room. The secretary rushed to get medical assistance while others tended to the man.
Yeah, whatever. You can tell that everybody there was from north of the Mason-Dixon line, because if Trump had been a Southerner, he'd have been prepared for this. He'd have had a fainting couch right there. He'd have had an amyl capsule to help whenever this guy went out with the vapors. Because, as a MAGA supporter, he was probably, overcome by the vapors. You could bring him back with that little, or ammonia, little sips of ammonia, brings you right out of it. But they need a fainting couch in the White House.
Well, the White House Medical Union quickly jumped into action, and the gentleman is okay.
Well, that's good. Given everything that...
We will end with good news this evening. More good news. The DC sandwich thrower is found not guilty of assault. I did not know that throwing a sandwich at a ICE or military personnel or police officer was an offense.
How long have you been sitting on this story? Because that's old news.
No, this week, he was found not guilty of assault. The man who threw the Subway sandwich at the federal officer in the early days of the Trump administration's law enforcement surge in Washington, D.C. earlier this summer has been found this week not guilty. And the incident quickly...
Here's where I'm coming from, because as I recall, they tried to pin a felony on him, and they found out that wasn't going to stick. Then I thought that the prosecuting attorney just decided not to press charges on him at all. So evidently somewhere along the line, they must have done that and I missed it.
Well, the incident quickly became a symbol, somewhat in jest, for resistance in DC against the Trump takeover of law enforcement, with spray painted posters and internet jokes spreading as an homage to the incident popping up in its wake. Your buddy, Judge Jeanine Pirro, your buddy, who's also the DC U.S. attorney, says, as always, we accept a jury's verdict. That is the system within which we function. However, law enforcement should never be subjected to assault, no matter how minor.
But it's okay for them to go kneel on your neck, throw old ladies to the ground, and handcuff babies and children and drag them off to detention facilities. Is that what you're telling me? Is that what Janine's saying?
No, well, she added this. She says, even children know when they are angry that they are not allowed to throw objects at one another.
And they do it anyway.
Now, this would have been a jury that I would have loved to have sat on. During the trial, the federal jurors were shown several videos of the man, Sean Dunn, yelling at officers before throwing the deadly Subway sandwich at one Customs and Border Protection agent before running away and then being detained shortly after.
Do we know what
jurors,
sandwich it was?
What now?
Do we know what kind of sandwich it was?
No, we don't. We do not know. No. I think it should be named Subway should name it.
Yeah.
But the jurors know, get this, they deliberated for 7 hours.
For that?
7 hours.
Oh, wow.
Now, Dunn's attorney did not argue over the facts of the case, but rather focused on whether or not the sandwich thrown was enough to constitute an assault of an officer.
Who, by the way, was wearing body armor. So,
the officer who was hit with the sandwich, Greg Larmore, told the jurors that colleagues had given him gag gifts after the incident, including a toy sandwich and a patch with the words "felony footlong."
huh.
While the officers claimed that the sandwich exploded
Oh,
on
wow.
his chest and left smells of onions and mustard, defense counsel showed a photo of the sandwich after the throw, noting that it was still in its Subway wrapping.
Yeah. Yeah. So evidently, the officer, what's his face, is Magateers, baby, Magateers. Meanwhile, 7 hours for the jury to come to that conclusion.
7 hours. Do you believe that?
Wow. So Janine and Hegseth were probably down at the corner bar, bending a few elbows, waiting for that jury.
Do you
That
think that
verdict
they
is
were
not
drinking before the verdict?
before, during, and after.
Well, anyhow. Well, guess what?
We're out of time again.
We are out of time. Hold on here. I'm going to play the gong. And I didn't even use my buzzer this evening.
That's what I said.
Yes.
That's why I said you didn't bother to beat me once. So
You only used 1 out of 10.
okay, I can use all of them at once right now if you want.
No, don't. Please don't.
Okay.
Please don't. Okay. Tim is saying next time hold the onions.
That's what I say too.
Next time hold the onions. And he also says, yes, we are in crazy land.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. And that's the reason why I think that, again, having a spiritual practice, practicing the teachings of Jesus, love one another, love your enemies, pray for those who persecute you, giving of yourself to your neighbor, especially if they're hungry, donating to your local food bank, caring about the people around you. That is what's going to get us through. We need not wait until the government changes here in 2026. It's looking good.
Yeah.
But again, we have to keep up the momentum here to keep people, again, engaged in this. I don't like to call it war, but I'd like to call it, again, us shining our light in the darkness. Your last comments for the evening, Reverend Jeff.
To listen to me talk about these people and to disparage them and to call them the names that I've called them and to make the jokes, you might not know that behind the scenes, I do pray for this country. And yes, even the president. Because who more than anybody else needs prayers than him?
Right.
But I do try to hold the highest watch I can, other than when we're, doing this show, because, it's just too much fun to what I've got left is too much fun to let my hair down. Not to
Well, give a plug for your show that I produced earlier.
You did, and thank you so much for that. It was excellent. Divine Science Everywhere on Friday afternoons. I'm used to talking about me doing Fireside Chat later on. It's Fridays at 2 o'clock Mountain Time, 3 o'clock Central, 4 o'clock Eastern, and if you're on the West Coast, 1 o'clock. You'll be up
1
for
o'clock
that.
in the afternoon.
Yeah, you'll be up for that. So the people in Hawaii, though, and we do have a guest who lives in Hawaii,
Right.
that we are trying to nail. She's already agreed to join us. We just need to lay down a time for her a day for her to come be with us, and it's going to be like way early for her, like 10 o'clock, maybe 11 o'clock in the morning, as opposed to our 3 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon, whatever. So
now you know that you can go ahead and record earlier, right? Or later.
yes, yeah,
Or the day before.
or the day before, yeah. So we actually talked about that in our little meeting after the show today.
Okay.
Maybe doing something pre-recorded at some point if we need. So,
Well, once again, Reverend Jeff, always a privilege and pleasure to share the airwaves with you this evening.
yeah, there was so much that we didn't get to. So, if we
You know what?
get
There's
revved
next
up and give us another hour.
There's next week.
Is next week. Yeah, but by then it'll be another fresh hell, and the stuff that happened this week will be old news. So,
Well, we're going to be okay. I really feel that we're going to be okay. We're going to get through. And since you have prophesied, you have from the gifts of the Spirit, and since you are a former Pentecostal pastor,
I know, doesn't that shock people?
that you have prophesied that 2026 is going to be a blue tsunami. Now you have said this from your gifts of the Spirit.
Yes, and it nearly overtook me when you mentioned the Andre Crouch song earlier, because that was a big one in our church.
Yep. Yeah. Soon and very soon we are going to see the King.
Reverend
If you
Jeff,
Jeff,
heard the song, go on YouTube and find it. Andre Crouch. You'll enjoy the song. It's very good.
thank you so very much, Reverend Jeff, and we will see you next week. And guess what? It's time for us to go again. Thank you so very much. Again, let not your heart be troubled. Again, that we are here to support you here. I really encourage you not to get too worked up over the news. Again, like Tim was saying this evening in the chat, is that this is intentional. All of this fire hosing of information and craziness, this is to put everyone off balance. So what gets us back into balance is watching factual news, working on our own spiritual evolvement, and also really learning how to love your enemy. See, those are the gifts that we have to experience now. Just because it's dark outside doesn't mean that there's no growth going on, because there is. All right. Time for us to go. Again, have a great week, and we will see you next Friday night. Bye now.
Thanks for joining us this evening for Friday's Fireside Chat with Pastor Michael Mangus. Join us again next week at 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain for more spiritual conversations for today. For more information and replays of past shows, please visit the New Thought Radio and Media Network's Facebook page. Until next week, may God bless you richly and abundantly.